Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let wild pubes wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. This V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code TAGS, TAGS, for 20% off and free shipping. What is going on? You are watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell are you, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm doing really good. This
You're looking
is,
good.
thank you. Thank you. Wearing some merch. Yep, Tags
Hey.
Podcast. This is episode 356, just as a reference point. And guess what? Next Monday night, we are celebrating 5 years of Tags Podcast, the original podcast,
Wow.
the OG. It's our 5-year anniversary, and you guys can join us next Monday, February 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a two-parter, so part one is
Nice.
next Monday. Kodi
I'll
and
be
our
there.
other co-host Jeremy Ross Lopez will be joining us, and it's going to be live streaming on this platform, on Get Vocal platform, which we're really excited. You can find out how to join it by simply going to tagspodcast.com or go to our Instagram at TagsPodcast, and in the description is a link to joining next week's 5-year anniversary part 1 of Tags Podcast at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be a great way. We're going to reflect on the 5 years. We're going to reflect when
Aw.
Kodi joined the situation,
Me?
when Jeremy Ross Lopez, who's been an OG of the show.
I know,
But
right?
it's a good chance to join us because you can ask us questions, anything you ever wanted to ask us, and then some. Now's your chance to do that in a live video way. It's a two-parter, so then we'll do one the next week as well. But the first part is next week, February 7th, 7 p.m. Go to our Instagram at Tags Podcast. Click on the link and you'll see how to join it, or go to tagspodcast.com. And we're launching a brand new community. It's called the Tags Sex Positive Community, with all kinds of things that you can join for free or at different tiers. But it's going to be sort of the backstage of Tags Podcast, and it's where we're going to continue the sex positive conversation on
Beautiful.
various ways, including some erotic writing, which I'm dabbling in now. Yeah.
Ooh. I
So
love that. But can we go back for just 2 seconds? I
yeah.
have to answer questions on Monday about anything in it, any and everything.
Well, you're used to it. You're actually used to it because you do it on this show like we're doing tonight.
I do.
And yeah, Lincoln and Jeremy are the two that I'm maybe a little bit worried about because they don't do this that often. They pre-record, and you get the benefit. You're always in front of a live audience, so you're going to be good. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I started to sweat just a little bit, but you're right.
Not
Thank you, darling.
So join us that's next Monday night. If you miss it, don't worry. The show will drop on Tuesday like it always does, but you'll be able to watch it on our YouTube channel. So beyond that, today is a really interesting day. Did you know the digits of today? Today is 2222. That is very, in numerology, that's a
All
very
twos.
specific. Yeah, it's really, in numerology, February of 2022 is the end of a 222 sequence that began all the way back in the year 2000. After this month, the next 222 sequence of dates will be in February of 2222.
Oh,
We will probably, I don't know if we're going to be
wait,
around
that's
or not.
this month, right? 2/22/22.
2022, no, 2222 will be the next time that we see that. So
Oh,
So what they're saying, yeah, we will not be around for that. I don't
but
believe.
what about 2/22/22? The
Yes,
22nd of February.
yes, and so that's good. I'm glad you brought that up because the whole month. So yes, today's really significant, and some of the
Yes.
things why it's significant is it's all about pairing up. Love is the main theme for the month, and 2 is the number
Oh.
of partnerships and relationships. There
Oh.
will be 3 particularly powerful dates, as you mentioned one of them already. Today is the first one.
Mhm.
Um, and the next 2 are February 20th and February 22nd. On these dates, the key is to approach life with balance and compassion and to seek collaboration with those around you in productive ways. I love that because that's
Oh.
kind of what we're doing this month. I'm collaborating, I'm working with you guys,
Yeah.
with our audience, our
Mhm.
friends. We're embarking on this 5-year anniversary in really productive ways, not just hey it's a party, but there's so much that we're offering. And I'm kind of looking for love now because I have 2 co-hosts who are in their long-term
Oh.
relationships, so I want a little something something myself too. So I'm
Let's
let's
go.
go,
Double date it
yeah,
up. And
absolutely.
2 and
So
2. 2
um
couples, 2 pairs of 2. It's just 2's everywhere.
absolutely, you're a Cancer, correct,
I
Kodi?
am. I
So I'm
am.
going to read you
My birthday's the
your
22nd of July.
you're on the cusp,
I
or
am
no.
on the cusp.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read you your astrological report in this 2-2 moment that we're having this
I am so
February.
excited.
Okay. So here we go. Cancer. Think about all the ways that you've sacrificed yourself for others over the years, specifically when it comes to keeping peace in your relationship. February 2nd, 2022 is a door to living life on completely different terms. While
Wow.
compromise is key in relationships, self-sacrifice is not. We should never have to talk ourselves into being happy or accepting something that isn't truly in alignment with us. Use this energy to embrace a more authentic way of loving and remember that anything that takes you further away from yourself will never be meant for you. Okay,
What?
now.
That is so freaky. I might have to get up and get off of this stream right now because
Oh, no, you
I am.
won't.
You're like, sit the hell down, bitch.
Yeah, sit down, calm your ass down, dial it
Calm it
back,
down.
pour yourself another cocktail, and
That
yeah.
means so much to me, though. I'm actually in. I feel like it's not really an argument. I feel like it's more of a debate and more of me being myself in my relationship right now. So to bring us to the next level of our relationship. So that's freaky. I really kind of just
I'll send you this. I'll send you this, and this is
please
really
do.
numerology is a real thing. I don't take these things lightly. Do your research. I'll post this on Tags Podcast,
Are you,
the astrology on it.
Are you gonna read yours?
Sure, I'm a Capricorn and just celebrated my birthday.
Happy belated.
So here's my report based on this numerology of all these 2s that we're talking about. This will
Mhm.
be an incredible time for love for you in the coming weeks. You are right on the cusp of believing in love again. So remember what I was just saying a second ago?
I
I'm I
I
haven't
can't
been
do this.
believing. I haven't been believing in love, but I've been before I read this, believing in love again. Whether this means entering into a new relationship or even rekindling things with the current partner, it's all about stepping into a more powerful and deeper connection. By allowing yourself to have peace with everything that's happened, including the choices you've made, you will open up a new path of trust, which will enable you to create the relationship you've always desired. Wow.
Oh,
Okay,
this
now.
is some wizardry right here. I don't know if you belong at Hogwarts. I don't know. You got on a sorting hat. I don't know what's going on over there, but this is amazing. I'm all for
I'm here
this.
for it. Get into the 2s, you all. I'm serious. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com because I think, yeah, why not? Numerology is powerful.
It
And even
is.
if you didn't believe in it, why just it's kind of amazing to
It's fun. Yes.
yeah, and just look into it, because I think
Yeah.
the divinity is so powerful like that.
And it can open up pieces of you that you never even knew were there, just by opening your mind, expounding your mind just a little bit. It might not even directly apply to your life specifically, but as long as you're opening up your mind, I
You
think
said it
that's
might
okay.
open up pieces of me. I hope someone wants a piece of me, because that's what
Was that in your horoscope?
that's what I read in the fine print, and that I'm going to get a piece of something that I've been hoping for a while. So we'll see. I mean, listen, numerology, I'm hoping for a 10 beyond this. So
Hey,
in every aspect.
22 inches. Okay.
Yeah, okay, exactly. We got to mention, though, on this episode in a little bit, not just yet, we're going to bring out a special guest, gay guru coach Brian Madigan. He's going to be talking about open relationships and so much more in just a little bit, but we'll bring him out in a minute. But before that, Kodi, you and I were recently talking about Kansas and the age-old laws that were ruled unconstitutional, sodomy laws. Do you remember that conversation that we had?
I really do. I used to live in Kansas, so.
Yeah, and we had that whole conversation about you living there and what was it life like. Laws flat. Okay. But we didn't ask people to write in. We're still waiting for those responses for our listening audience.
From Kansas? Oh,
yeah.
girl.
But laws against gay sex were ruled unconstitutional long ago, but Kansas won't drop its ban on sodomy laws. I couldn't help but talk about this next story, which could show with our democracy in such threatened states right now, I would argue.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I just watched this whole thing about Florida right now on the news right before we got on how the discussion, Governor Ron DeSantis is talking about even the mere discussion of gayness or transgender is totally going to be outlawed in schools, and books are going to be outlawed there too.
And critical race theory is out the window. Yes.
So with what we were talking about Kansas, Iran just executed 2 men over charges related to sodomy. Iran executed 2 men on sodomy charges on Sunday. Local human rights groups and media organizations reported. The 2 men, I'll put them on, Mehrad Karimpu and Farid Mohammadi, were allegedly arrested about 6 years ago for sodomy by force, according to Iran's human rights activist news agency. The organization reports the 2 were killed in the Madigan prison in Iran, and the 2 Iranian men were executed after being found guilty of charges related to homosexuality.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sodomy laws is essentially what it is, and we were looking at their pictures, and so sad to think
they were so handsome and beautiful.
We talk about this stuff because we were just talking about something that is happening in our own country that hasn't really repealed or gotten rid of an age-old laws against
antiquated laws,
laws, or the enforcement of it, removal of it. This, with what's going on in our country, does this make you nervous that what's going on in our country right now, just because it's happening around the world?
I always try to stay vigilant when it comes to the rights of all people, not only our rights, but the rights of Black people, any minorities that you might come, the gamut, the rainbow basically of peoples and their rights. It makes me more adamant about fighting for our rights as people, and it makes me want to fight for the rights in other countries of all people across the board. I think that occasions like this, incidents like this, only remind you how easy and how close it is for our country to go to that state. I know it seems like we're far away from that, but not that even long ago, it seems like we couldn't even be affectionate out in public. It's much closer than you think it was. And we didn't even have the right to marry until about, what was it, 4 years ago. So we
Yeah.
need to make sure that we are vigilant in holding on to these rights and pressing forward for these rights for not just for this country, but for all countries.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the last couple years, we've been talking about so many of the hate crimes that we see going on against our
Yeah.
community, and they continue to happen. But when there's conversations about our democracy, about simply talking about being gay, or
Mhm.
books being banned, or critical race theory, books that are
It's
not being
crazy.
allowed, it's not that far off when we talk about
Yeah.
a story in Iran happening. I mean, it's not to that level yet, but where are we headed? And everyone knows everything's a pendulum and it
Mhm.
swings back and forth. But this seems a little bit this is allegedly one of the greatest times to be alive in
Yeah.
2022. But you still question, and the fight needs to continue, like you say, when you hear stuff like this, because where are we headed? And if we just become complacent and we don't talk about it on shows like this, then things are going to be
Exactly.
implemented
Like, if
So
people are not knowledgeable, then that's when they take advantage of us. So we
yeah,
need to make sure that we're knowledgeable and that we're fighting the good fight out there.
absolutely. Well, it's at this time, we'll continue to keep an eye on that we bring in Brian Madigan. Thanks for grabbing a spot. Hey, Brian.
Hey,
And
Good. All right. Well,
so,
it's so excited to bring our guest today, Brian Madigan, Gay Guru Coach, who reached out to us, and we're so glad that you did. Welcome to TAGSPodcast.
thanks. I'm excited to be here. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. I'll start the conversation going.
Okay.
You're a life coach, but you call yourself a gay transformational coach. How do you describe that, and how does that differ from traditional, say, life coaching?
So if we look at traditional life coaching, we're really talking about advice giving that sort of external perspective, sort of helping people see their lives in a bigger picture and helping them piece things together. The transformational coaching piece does that, but it sort of takes a look at where you are now, where you want to go, and how we get you there. But through looking at things like negative emotions that are impacting you, and limiting beliefs that are causing you to relate to the world or to yourself in ways that aren't particularly good, conflicting values, things that you know are important now, but maybe conflict with religious values you were brought up with, or those kinds of things. And particularly, especially with gay men, there's a lot of that kind of religious programming that we have to overcome in order for us to actually be able to get ourselves on that path towards what we really want. And sometimes even know what it is that we actually really want. So getting all of that sort of negative programming out of the way before we start trying to set goals and trying to figure out how to get you there, because we want you actually congruent as a full human being, knowing what it is that you really want and having the power to get there without all of that stuff in the way.
And so many of us gay men come with so much baggage and trauma. And you heard us talk just a minute ago about 2/2/22 and the significance and people looking for love right now. I know you work with people wanting to look for love and relationships. We did a funny story the other day on a whole list of references that was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, Kodi. Do you remember the list on what a guy wrote in the Reddit thread?
I remember what you said specifically.
Well, yeah, I mean, and some people wrote things like 6 figures, and I wrote, I wanted like a huge 10-inch dick, is all these kinds of things. Who doesn't, right? But how do you work? Tell us a little bit about working with your clients who are looking for love, particularly during this month of like love.
Yeah, so I think that, we're all knowing what we want. Okay, we're all he's got to have the perfect body, he's got to have the big dick, and it's all this superficial stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. That stuff needs to be on the table, but it's really not everything. I think that's the biggest piece that people miss. So for me, it's not like, I don't want to know what you're looking for. Let's talk about who you're looking for. Who is that person? What's he like? And not what does he do for a living necessarily, although if you have passions in certain areas, those are going to be important. Because when it comes down to it, At the beginning, we can fall in love with just about anybody. That rush of new relationship energy. I mean, you're going to go for anybody who just triggers that in you, right? And
Right.
none of us really care what he's really like. Doesn't matter. But as you move and things get more serious and start to get to know each other, if you want to actually survive long term, you kind of have to have values that match, that sort of make sense together, that work with one another. Not all of them. You want differences to create challenges and help each other to grow, but there has of common values. You want to be looking for some of the same things in life so that that you've got this potential to build a life with somebody. And that's a piece that a lot of us miss. And I think it speaks to this open relationship thing as well. Like, relationship style is one of those things. People don't put it on the table. And the reality is, if you need monogamy and your guy needs an open relationship, you got a big chasm to cross to figure out if you can make that relationship compatible. So it's looking a little bit deeper at what you really want,
Well, here's a question, so just based on what you were just saying right now. How would you coach somebody if I am going on all these dates, but I'm not meeting somebody that's compatible for me? How would you direct somebody?
First of all, figure out what it is that you're really looking for. A lot of us go out, we go on a bunch of dates, we feel the guy's not compatible, but we don't really know why. So you're missing a piece, right? Knowing that the guy's not compatible is great, but knowing why the guy isn't, better idea of why am I not am I looking in the wrong places? Am I jumping on Grindr thinking I'm going to find true love? Not that it can't happen, but let's be honest. And just
it happened to Kodi.
Awesome. I met mine in a lineup at a bar. So
a lineup.
A lineup. Yeah.
The sidewalk sale.
Maybe nothing better
the sidewalk sale.
In front of you. You never know. So I think it's really helping anybody understand, why wasn't that date great? What was it about him that didn't work? So you can try to, if you understand better what you're looking for, you're going to actually start to naturally filter for people who are going to be a better match for you. And again, it comes down to those deeper things. It's not just about the way he looks. Sexual chemistry obviously is really important, particularly for men, but that's easy enough to find. The rest of it, not so much. And so that compatibility, it's really, are you only looking at the superficial stuff? Like, if the superficial stuff is good enough, maybe take a deep breath and see where it goes.
Nice. Yeah, that's amazing. I love your approach to coaching. What really brought you to coaching and coaching gay men specifically?
I did a long, tiresome career in corporate information technology that was soul-sucking and not working. And finally, a moment where I had enough in my career and my financial life that I could say, you know what, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to figure out what I want to do. Spent a couple of years doing that, then decided that, coaching is what I really want to do. I do energy healing and all sorts of other stuff as well. But that's really where I felt this is where I'm really making changes in people's lives. And for a while, I really worked mainly with women, kind of 40s, 50s, sort of my generation of women. It was really nice. But I thought, my people need me. Like, I really need to be a voice for a different way of looking at life as a gay man, at looking at love as a gay man, career as a gay man. And I wanted to bring that to the table. And I think that's where the whole idea of GayGuru came up. I have a very strong sort of spiritual side to me as well. And I really wanted to bring all of that stuff. I want us to learn to be more rounded human beings. I think it's great that we're sex positive. That's a big, huge gift that we give to the world, but it can't be everything that we are. And I think people get lost in it, right?
Sustainable. Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. So since we're talking about open relationships, and I always get a little bit confused as far as like polyamory and open relationships. What do you see as the difference between the two as far as open relationships and polyamory are concerned?
I don't think there's really a difference. I think it's really just generational terminology. And honestly, it's straight terminology and somewhat queer and gay terminology. Like, we love to talk about open relationships. A lot of straight folk who are kind of in that same mode are talking about being polyamorous and all of those kinds of things. And it all comes down to really personal definitions, right? Like, what's an open relationship? Completely different thing to different people. What's polyamorous? Completely different things to different people. For me, I identify as poly. For me, being polyamorous simply means that I can love more than one person. Romantically love, hold them both in my heart, have them in appropriate balance. And I think a big piece for me is not to get so carried away with that new relationship energy that my other relationship dies because I think I'm in love with the guy, right?
Yeah.
So that for me is what my definition is. And for me, open relationship is about finding relationships. I like
Okay.
I like to relate to people. I want something a little long lasting, a little more than a fuck buddy, a little more than a friend with benefits, but not a partner. Somewhere in there, right? And
Okay.
finding that kind of compatibility. That's how I define them. My husband doesn't consider
Hmm.
himself poly, although he ended up with a boyfriend, so maybe he is.
Oh,
And when we embarked
So
on this journey
interesting.
together, he said, "Well, I just want sports sex. Like, I just want to go out and have fun." I'm like, "Okay, go out and have fun. Are you okay with me going out and having relationships? Because I get that that's going to be a little scarier and more challenging." And
Yeah.
he's like, "I
Oh,
think we
wow.
can figure that out, but we'll have to sort of figure that out." And then a couple of years later, he randomly ended up with a boyfriend. And been
wow.
Okay.
together for a few years now. It's a long distance thing. I've met him. He's awesome. I totally get it. I was really fun after I met him. Met him about 9 months into the relationship. We went out for a drink because I felt hubby there was just not going to help the situation.
Okay.
Sitting down, having a cocktail, and I walked out of the meeting and I texted my husband and I just said, "Hey, you know what? If he wasn't your boyfriend, we would probably end up being friends. So maybe that's going to happen one
Oh,
day because it's really
Oh,
that
great."
is so
For some
sweet.
people, though, that's all. For some people, polyamory is about a third in the relationship or a fourth in the
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah. So it's up to, that's why it's so confusing, because everybody has a different definition of what it means, and I think that's important.
I agree.
It's your personal definition.
well, it sounds like for you, I mean, your husband is so fortunate to be with somebody like you, a transformational coach that can handle this, and you guys have these conversations. Do you think a lot of people go into open relationships kind of not really thinking it through on what that means? We were just talking about a guy on the show the other day that he has an OnlyFans, and they started off
Mhm.
monogamous, and then they went into an open relationship, and then they're moving on to polyamorous after that. But do you think a lot of people, maybe where people get into a little trouble, is they don't think it through of what it really means to go into an open relationship?
Mm.
They don't think it through at all. I'm a big fan of a while of monogamy, and I don't preach this to people because people have to be where they're at. Personally, I find that a period of time being monogamous helps solidify the relationship, and for me, builds the security I need to then be able to open up and not be completely like at sea, trying to figure out how to emotionally navigate the jealousy and the anxiety and all the stuff that comes with it, because it comes with it.
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
challenges
Yeah.
that come with it, and you can't pretend that those challenges aren't going to be there. And that's important. But I think the biggest mistake people make is they go to the table. It's usually one partner goes to the table and says they want an open relationship, and they haven't figured out what it means for themselves yet.
Hmm.
You have to know
Yeah.
what you actually mean by that so that you can go to the table and say, okay, this is what I want an open, and what I mean by open relationship is this is how I'd like to see things for myself.
Okay.
And then give your partner a moment to digest it, and maybe a whole lot of moments to go off and figure out, number one, can they deal with what you're asking for? And number two,
Wow.
if they want to open, what does it mean to them? And that's kind of the way it happened with my husband and I. Like, we stepped back and I said, "This is what I want." He's like, "Oh boy." I said, "Yeah, I know it's a lot." So we have to figure out whether that can work. But I also want you to think about, we'd been together like 10 years, and it was kind of like, it was time for both of us. And I think we
Right.
both knew it, but we were both afraid to have the conversation. And he went back
Hmm.
and started thinking about it and thinking about what he wanted to do and those kinds of things. And then we had to come to the table. His issues were obviously mainly emotional. I'm worried about you
Hmm.
leaving me. I'm worried about you finding, the next love of your
Oh,
life.
wow.
How are we going to deal with that? Mine were more, okay, I'm worried about STIs. I'm worrying about you being responsible
That's
The
all
sexually.
right.
If
practical,
you're going to
Yeah.
come into
practical
family.
element.
Well, because if you just was really looking to
Yeah.
go out and get laid. So, let's
Yeah.
have it. Let's make sure we're both comfortable and we know what we're doing. And
Mhm.
then when he met his boyfriend, it was kind of like, whoa, okay. And I didn't handle it particularly well because I wasn't expecting that.
Oh,
He wasn't looking for it.
that
I
is
wasn't
so
expecting
interesting.
it. And I was shocked. I'm like, hold on, you're the one who said you didn't want another relationship. You couldn't handle
Yeah.
another relationship. But now all of a sudden you've got this other relationship. Whoa, what are we doing here? Like, we got to take a step back and I got to understand what's going on. Right. And there was some,
Wow.
I felt, a part of me felt that trust might have been broken a little bit. I don't think that's really what happened. It really was random, but it took a while for me to receive that and say, okay, you know what? This was a random occurrence. He just happened to find this guy who's really cool and interesting and fun for him, very, very different from him. It's been really good for him, actually. And we've come to a
Hmm.
point now after they've been together a few years. I have a lover who's kind of an on and off again. I don't know really what it is anymore, and we've been a couple of years, and we've gotten to a point now where we're actually able to have conversations and help each other with the challenges we're having in our relationships, which is really cool.
Okay.
And it's brought us to a much deeper level in our own relationship.
Hey guys, your buddy Steve V here, host of Talk About Gay Sex, and I'm here to talk about clean balls and why it's so important, especially as we come upon Valentine's Day. Well, even if you're like myself this V-Day and you're your own V-Day celebration, that's right, I am keeping things clean down under, not letting things get out of whack. It's just so important to feel good for yourself. And I know I'm cleaner down there when I'm manscaped. That's just the truth. That's the honest truth. If the holidays went by so quickly, did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job? The thing that works for me best is Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. You get everything in this by Manscaped. Every guy needs this in their life to make each and every day just a little more special. I'm talking about the number one product in the package, which is the Lawnmower 4.0. It's an electric trimmer designed to trim hair on loose skin. And get this, the trimmer's advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. I use this all the time. It has a 4000K LED spotlight so you can shave anywhere where your heart desires. Did I mention it's waterproof? So important. This package also includes the Weed Whacker, also important, nose and ear hair trimmer to whack all the worst of your weeds. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts. I'm talking about the Shed Travel Bag and the anti-chafing boxer briefs to keep your boys stored comfortably. To complete the perfect package for your package are liquid formulations. Boy, I love these. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Start your day off with the deodorant for your boys. Then stay cool all day with toner to keep you feeling your best all day and night. These are working for me so well these days. These formulations will also have your balls smelling like king of the big day. And don't forget to smell good not only around your balls, but all over. Made with your signature scent, the Manscaped Refined Cologne will complement your collection with smell perfection. Manscaped created their products for a night just like this and will make your V-Day date say, wow, great set of balls you have there. So here you go. Go to Manscaped for our exclusive offer to get 20% off plus free shipping with the code TAGS, THES. Your balls and guy will thank you. Get 20% off again plus free shipping with the code TAGS, TAGS at manscaped.com. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So you brought up some of the challenges in having an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship. What are some, like, jealousy and things of that nature? What are some of the unexpected challenges that you find that come up in open relationships and polyamorous
I think really the jealousy piece is the biggest piece, because people who think they're going to be totally fine and totally cool are totally fine and totally cool until they see you necking with another guy in the back.
I'm super jealous, so I get it.
I am by nature. And it's interesting, my ex, we opened up pretty early. He was a very, very liberal, sort of forward-thinking, sexual kind of guy, and really opened me up sexually. And it just felt like the natural thing to do. And I was fine with him doing his thing because I was expecting it, but he wasn't expecting me to be behaving the way I was, particularly with, I was all of a sudden into much younger guys, which was sort of a first thing for me. And it was really bothersome for him for a little while when he would say, I'd walk in a bar and 5 minutes later I've got some guy in the back and we're kissing up the store and ready to go home.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, whoa, I said, well, it's the way I met you. He said, yeah, but okay, that's your MO, I get it. So, there's that discomfort. So we have to make decisions about those kinds of things, right? Some people love the idea of a third. They love the idea of a threesome. Navigating a threesome is really tough.
Brian, I was going to ask you that follow up. I think a lot of people think that when they've been in the relationship for so long that let's open it up, but let's play together. I hear a lot of people say we're going to play together. Does that really work in general?
It can, but there
But
has to
sometimes
be
people
really
deviate, correct? Like
it's
one
well
of
first,
them.
yeah, it's very difficult to find equal chemistry. So
Yeah.
if the person you're
Yeah.
bringing in, when Jack and I had our first threesome, he was a really great guy. I'm still in touch with him. We're kind of still lovers, fuck buddies every once in a while. When I'm in the town he lives in, we sort of hook up and it's fun. And we all like each other. And he was very, very adamant that he wanted to give us an amazing experience. And clearly the attraction was more between he and I, but Jack wanted to jump in and have some fun with us. And he jumped in and have some fun with us. And it was all good for everybody. But a lot of times what happens is you have one person in the couple who's really attracted to somebody and the other person feels
left out,
obligated to say yes. And then a lot of attraction there. So there's no reason to be jealous. Feeling left out. Yeah. Feeling left out when you're sitting there watching your partner with somebody else is not a good feeling. So you need to work out beforehand what you're going to do to communicate with each other and be very clear, our relationship is the primary relationship. Wow. And this person doesn't get to jeopardize that relationship, even if it gets uncomfortable, even if it gets uncomfortable for us dealing with that third person.
Yeah, I just feel I hear it all the time, communication, and we could speculate so much on what we think we would want in our relationships, but you never know until you're really in it. Silas has a question listening to us live right now, and he says, how would one work through those insecurities that you have? Like, good question, I think. That come up.
Own your stuff. Own your insecurities. Really understand why you're insecure, why you're feeling insecure. It's very, very important. Don't blame your partner for your insecurities. However, important to communicate that you're feeling insecure and important for your partner to honor that and to say, okay, maybe we need to take a step back and take a break from this while you figure out what that's about for you. Is it that you feel threatened? Why are you insecure? Why is this happening? So we can help you figure this out and then we can sort of move on again. I think that don't go into this thinking that everything's going to be fine and nobody's going to have a problem, because there's going to be challenges and you need to be able to take a step back and say, this is the primary relationship. This is the relationship we're trying to preserve. We need to honor each other and respect each other and love each other enough to deal with those insecurities in a healthy way. And when you don't, just honestly say you didn't. I behaved like a dick. Sorry. I wasn't appropriate. I was mean. I was nasty. I blew up. I did whatever, made a scene in the middle of a bar, whatever. Sorry, I did that. And that's how I was feeling. And hopefully you can build a bridge and understand what's going on. It's a tremendously powerful potential for growth to navigate the ins and outs of any kind of open relationship.
Awesome. So it seems like we've took some time to cover what the challenges are. What do you see as some of the benefits to an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship?
I think that everybody goes into that looking for something.
Okay.
Like my husband was looking for variety. Our sex life was great. It's not that it wasn't happening, but he was looking for variety. Some people at a certain point in time, particularly if one partner is much more sexual than the other, there's just a need. There's a physical need that's not being fulfilled, and that can be a reasonable motivation to open up a relationship. Some people like me are looking for a different kind of person. My husband's like a go, never wants to sit down and watch Netflix, man. I want a boyfriend who just wants to sit and watch Netflix for a Saturday night, order in some food and just chill out.
And that's the polyamorous side of it that you're referencing.
That's the polyamorous side. Yeah. But that can be
that's a good difference.
Too. The terms are kind of interchangeable, right?
Sure.
But yeah, that's really for me, that's what polyamory is about. Like, I want that relationship. I want like a nice guy that I can snuggle with and watch TV and have some fun sex, and we can have a good time together and have that relaxing, chilled out environment that I don't get with my husband, that he doesn't want. I mean, he's tried. He really has.
Yeah.
He gets
Yeah.
fidgety and miserable and crazy. And like, I can't be running around with him the way he wants to run around all the time. I need a lot more downtime. And so it's like, okay, you go do your thing. And, you know, and he has found someone very much like him who's go, 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 go. And they keep up with each other. And it's kind of, okay, off you go. Have a good
But
time.
you can see, I love what you're saying, and it's so exciting to me to think the possibilities on the evolution that our gay community is really at the forefront of. It's scary and all that, but it does speak to the fact that I think you need that much more communication, because how we all are busy people. You and I were talking offline, Brian, how busy we are, like trying to, you know, get our stuff together here. When are you spending time then with your husband and finding the time to then spend time with a boyfriend and do all of this? I mean, I mean,
absolutely. It can be
juggling
crazy
game.
making. And that's again why communication is so important, right? It's like how, like right now, it's been sort of easy because, you know, they're both long distance relationships, so it hasn't presented much of an issue. And both of our guys, we're in Canada, our guys are American. I couldn't even, you know, he's like 70 miles away and I can't even cross the border through the whole of COVID.
You're in Canada?
Yeah, I live in Vancouver.
Oh, I love Canada.
You didn't hear his accent? I heard it.
Well,
That's a Montreal accent. So,
I picked it
you
up.
know, the long distance thing, it
Yeah.
does make it a little bit easier. So, you know, recently, because, you know, this situation is becoming much more casual, and you know, we're having conversations about, so he's like, what does it look like if you find somebody here? I said, we need to think about that. Like, is it one night a week? Is it like, how structured does it need to be for you to be comfortable? Like, because I want to go in knowing what our idea is. And note that I didn't say rules. We'll talk about rules in a second. Knowing what our idea is so that I can find somebody who's going to be cool with that idea, right? Rules will always be broken. I think that rules are the death knell in an open relationship. The only rule can be two rules: communication and respect. That's it.
Yes.
I love it.
Communicate and you respect each other, you're good to go. Everything else is just going to get complicated and confusing, and someone's going to break the rules and someone else is going to get pissed off, and it's just not going to work.
And then
because when you break a rule, Kodi,
a breaking rule.
Yeah, if you broke a rule of mine, Kodi, end of it. It's over. It's over.
Likewise, bitch.
Yeah, but if we don't have those, if we have two solid, you know, pillars, and beyond the pillars,
this guy a lot. I'm not feeling really comfortable. Can we talk about that? I'm worried about what's going on. You've got to be able to communicate at that level for it to work. And so things, you know, it's like, I am also not a fan, and I've had to talk some clients down from this, who, you know, they know their partner's not going to be comfortable, so they just go cheat. I'm like, you know, first of all, you're going to get caught eventually, so this is not going to work. And then it's not the right moment to all of a sudden be asking for an open relationship that you've already been in, only your partner didn't know, right? Eesh, not so good. And then there's the don't ask, don't tell thing. We have so many friends who are in this don't ask, don't tell situation, and it's kind of like, okay, you don't ask and he doesn't tell, but eventually someone else is going to tell you. And what are you going to do? How are you going to feel when one of your friends says, oh, I saw your husband out with this guy and they were clearly together? Like, you know, what's going on?
I don't think I would like that either. We have a lot of people writing on our show here where they say, you know, we have don't ask, don't tell, and one of them will go into the room and the other one's on the phone, and they put the phone down immediately, and the other one knows immediately that they were like on Grindr or whatever, and that they were doing this whole thing. And it's like, I know what you're doing. Why do you have this whole thing? That was one of our recent person that wrote in. I just think, if it's, why not just be more open about it? It's just,
especially in this day and age.
Precisely. And you know, it's really important for people to respect the level of communication that their partner needs as well. So, you know, we don't want don't ask, don't tell, but we don't want, like, I'm a terrible oversharer. really.
That's why we invited you on the show.
I know,
you make good TV.
And so, you know, and my husband is definitely not. He's a very pulled back, kind of not really comfortable communicating about emotions and sexuality. And so, you know, we had to figure out, how do we do this? Like, how much do you need to know and how much do I need to not be sharing, so that we've got solid enough boundaries that we can manage it, but nobody's getting upset or freaked out or having horrible TMI information. No, stop it. I don't want more. And we have learned to shut each other down. So sometimes I go, you know what? We've talked about him for the last hour. We need to shut this down now. We're done talking about your other relationship.
It's
move
really
on.
refreshing to hear this. And it's about adults being adults, right? Like when we give ourselves the chance to really be adults, that we can go beyond the cheating or let's just, don't ask, don't tell. We can actually be adult about this. And that's kind of an
Exactly.
exciting thought and theory
It really
that I
is.
think can really exist.
Mhm.
And it gives me hope. It really does.
Yeah, I think it's it's not for the faint of heart, but it's something that can be done. And yeah, you're right. Everybody has to be willing to come to the table, to be an adult, to do the work they need to do to get through their own stuff, and
Yeah.
then to really make the partnership a focus and see the good things that is brought to the partnership by the other things that are going on outside it, just like in anything else in life, right?
Well, before I let you go, I know you always on your website you talked about aging, and one of the things you talk to people is dealing with aging. And I'm 51 now, and I'm happy
Fabulous.
and fabulous.
I mean, I'm 60, so
yeah, and you talked about
fabulous. And my husband is 70 next week, and fabulous.
And fabulous.
So we are all doing, not letting it. I think I speak of my age all the time. A lot of my friends go, "I can't believe you say your age," and I'm like, "Why? I'm proud of it." I don't know that everyone. We do live in a society, a gay society, if you will, that at times can be very ageist and ages us out of the popular culture. What can you tell us about the work that you do with people that are dealing with aging in a society, a gay society, that sometimes doesn't welcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of that kind of work. I think part of it is just to be comfortable in your own skin. My God, we're mature adults already.
Yeah.
And allow, I remember, like, I was out really young. I came out when I was 15 in the 70s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, and I remember the same dynamic was going on then. We'd all be, look at the old chicken hawk, blah, 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 blah. It's the nature of generations. It's the nature of generations to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we just can't let it bug us. It's like
Yeah.
a bunch of young guys wants to go, ooh, it's like, oh, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm having fun. If you don't like it,
Okay,
like,
but is it still a big deal as we think it is, or are we making it a bigger
huge
deal?
It's
Okay.
a huge deal for some people. I don't think it needs to be a huge deal.
Okay.
I think part of it, honestly, is that, we lost a huge chunk of my generation.
Yeah.
We lost a huge chunk of this generation. And so we don't have there's not a lot of gay men in their like 60s and 70s and later 50s now. And so we're sort of missing this whole chunk of the population who would be a much more sizable, much more powerful. I think about the boomers, right? There wouldn't be so many of us. This dynamic would have been a lot different, right? The younger generation would have been smaller, and I think would have wielded a lot less power. But my position is we are giving them the power.
Yeah.
Here's my power. You can make me feel bad about how old I am, so here's my power. No thanks. I really don't need a 20-year-old having power over me. Thank you very much.
Right. I'm too
Let's
busy
be
loving
equal.
the people that love me.
I'm interested in being equal. If you're not ready for equal, then when you grow up, and we'll talk later. That's it.
I love that. And you know what? I never thought of that, about how we lost. I mean, I know we lost a huge chunk, but how they would have been around, kind of setting a tone, perhaps, that we don't. And it's a huge chunk. I never thought of it that way. And that's, So,
but I think what's also happening, and I felt this in my practice, I'm getting a lot of younger guys who are interested in talking and reaching out for little bits of advice and stuff. And it's been interesting. I kind of like, it seems that like guys in their 20s now are much more interested in what the older generation has to say, and they're looking for those mentors, right? So I think I think that we've got an opportunity to shift things here, and all it is just not buying into it. Like, live healthy, take care of yourself from a health perspective, and don't go going crazy trying to look younger, because it just doesn't help, and it doesn't make you feel better, and it doesn't necessarily make you live longer either.
Well,
I still might not say my age out loud, though. It's okay.
That's okay. You don't have
okay.
to.
You gotta do what you need to do, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Brian Madigan, thank you so much. This has been so good. You can follow
so much fun.
Brian, and I was on your website earlier today, and you give kind of a free consultation if you just want to talk through. It's like an hour consultation. Tell us about that real quick.
Just talk through whatever you're going through. You know, there's a little bit of structure to it. The purpose of it is really so we can figure out whether we'd be a good match to work together. But in that context, I'm giving you that perspective from it here and going like, okay, you know, this is what's going on. These are the things you could think about. Sometimes it really is a matter of me referring them to somebody else because I know this is just not going to be what you need.
Right.
And that does happen. And sometimes it's, yeah, okay, you know, we'd be great to work together. This is how it could work. Let's figure that out. And that's so it's really a nice opportunity. But I always like to make sure that anyone leaves that session with at least a plan, an idea of what they need to do to get where they want to go. You know, it's only an hour, so there's only so much you can do, but to give them some perspective on their life, it's good.
Yeah.
And you can go to GayGuru.Coach. We'll list everything on TAGSPodcast.com. Would you want to stick around? We do one fun segment about a thirst trap on picking the best thirst trap of the week.
Sure.
Do you want to stick around for that? Do you want to put that in?
Grabbing it right now.
Grab it on. Let's play with Brian while we have him here. This is a segment that we started last year that straight up gay porn started. It's called the Thirst Trap Recap. And this week they tell us which of these 20 gay porn stars took the best photo or video. Our job on this show is to tell us which one and descriptively describe on this audio podcast why we think the one is. So you're just getting the link now. So we won't make you go first, Brian, I promise. Since you're new to it.
Take it all in.
To be honest, I haven't had a chance to look, but Kodi, hopefully
you haven't?
I haven't. So I'm looking right now. I think I found mine and I'm stopping. I kind of spun the wheel and I think I picked on it. I'm just going to go with it right now. It's SpiderMan. It's big. It is Big Mike. And the reason why
absolutely SpiderMan.
It's SpiderMan for me because we used to do these live broadcasts at different bars, and I remember one time we did it at an AIDS benefit on Halloween, and there was a guy in a Spider-Man outfit, and I like Spider-Man like every kid did back in the day, but this Spider-Man that I saw, I was like, I am getting a picture with this Spider-Man. And he did not have his dick out like that. But his body was like because it's all spandex, right? Yeah. His body filled out that spandex and he had the most piercing green eyes, and he accepted this photograph that I asked to take with me. But in this photograph by, I think it's Big Mike. Yep. He is wearing the full head, the full gear Spider-Man. He's filling it out okay. I don't know that Spider-Man is really like supposed to. He's more of a boy, wouldn't you say, Kodi? You're a fan of it, right?
He's more like Spider Boy. Yes,
Spider Boy. But the dick is a full Spider-Man. That is a man dick.
That's
I've ever
Spider
seen
baby
one.
arm right there.
The balls are
like a boy with a man's dick, right?
The balls are laying out. When the balls lay out like that and spread out like that, and the dick goes up like that, I'm here for it. I give Big Mike my pick, and I'm voting for him right now as we speak. Kodi, did you have a chance to go through this? And who was your pick?
I did. It was the thing I did before. I do this before I do anything else, really. So my standout.
No offense, Brian, but
I have my priorities. Let's just put it that way. My pick is Adrian Hart. The picture is so artistic and beautiful, and he looks so delectable. And he's sitting in a chair and he's naked, spread eagle. His bottom half is in the sunlight, or should I say the bottom two-thirds, because his dick is huge, number one, and the top half is in the shadow, and his skin is glistening, and he has this face that says, you want to come and suck this dick right now. So he's my pick.
I Adrian. Love it. Oh, I see him right now.
Adrian
okay, Black
Hart.
History Month. Yeah.
I did it for the culture. Yes.
It could have been in the July, and he probably still would have won.
I would have. Yes.
Brian, Are you sticking with SpiderMan, or have you had a chance to kind of scroll through?
I'm kind of scrolling through, and I think, yeah, Spider-Man's definitely gone, but I think Heartbroken probably is getting my number 2 for sure. Hot boy doing all hit a poppers, you know, that's always gonna work for me. You guys are making me blush.
I scrolled through that one. I'm like, what is he doing? A hit a poppers. I kind of was obsessed with that one too. That's kind of amazing.
Who is it? Who?
Heart. Let me see. I'm on it right now.
Who is it?
Heartstroken.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's a video, and he's literally doing a hit of poppers, sitting on his couch with his dick full on hard and then he strokes.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Get it. Heart.
What are the people saying, Kodi?
So the people are saying Angel Rivera, who was another one of my picks too. It's between Angel Rivera and Adrian Hart, but I chose Adrian Hart. That's Silas's pick. And then Daniel picks Adrian Hart along with me.
A lot of Adrians in this.
I mean, it's a good picture.
Okay. It is a good picture.
And then Blake Mitchell for Blake. And he says it's not because they have the same name, but I don't believe
now. Seriously, Blake? No, I love the name Blake. Blake is such a soap opera name. It's like Blake. Right. I'm thinking Dynasty. I'm aging myself. Anyway, Silas says those thighs. Who was he talking about?
On
those
Adrian
thighs?
Hart.
On Adrian. Thunder thighs.
Yes.
Oh, I love a good thigh moment. Yeah.
They save lives. That's what Daniel says.
We can play this game. I'm going to study it the rest of the night. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Brian.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Brian, thank you so much.
So much. It was super fun. Super happy to be here.
Absolutely. Again, go to GayGuru.Coach. We'll list all this on TAGSPodcast.com on how you could work with Brian or get that consultation. Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. Super fun.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Guys.
We'll bring it back on. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, Kodi. And next week, do not forget our 5-year anniversary is next.
I'm so excited.
Part 1. You can celebrate with us on a 2-parter next Monday, 5-year anniversary, Monday, February 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Go to our Tags podcast, and in our description there, you'll see the link on how you can join us 7 p.m. Eastern next week, Monday.
Yes.
Join us for a celebration. It'll be a lot of fun. And
can't wait.
Follow my co-host, Kodi Maurice Doggette, at Mr. Maurice on Instagram, or he's a life coach as well.
I am. I'm going to hit up Brian. We're going to do a collaboration. So.
Collaborate. All right. KMD Coaching on Instagram, KMD Coaching. All right, Kodi, so much fun. We got some. I love tonight.
Thank you. Always. Yes.
Absolutely. In the meantime, continue having hot gay
sex.
Yes. Thanks, y'all.